Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 716. Before getting into this reading, chances are that most of the people watching this video are not subscribed, so if you are a reoccurring viewer, you enjoy my work and would like to help support the growth of my channel, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting that notification bell button, down below if you feel called to, and ring the notification bell next to it also if you feel called to. My current goal is 500 subscribers so I can have access to offering channel memberships, so if you do decide to subscribe and support my channel, thank you very much. So the number 3 could be significant for somebody. I'm also feeling like there's something here that you could be waiting on that is making you anxious, and this waiting period is almost like a good opportunity to heal. There's some sort of fear or anxiety that you can analyze and understand so you can either find peace or courage. I'm leaning more towards peace, but only take what resonates. Starting with interpreting the number 716. The number 7 is about wisdom, learning, growth. I believe in yesterday's reading I mentioned healing, or in one of them I did, and I associate healing with the number 3. So this is just confirmation that there is some sort of anxiety or fear that you can heal and learn from. The number 1 is assigned to trust yourself. Trust what you feel called to heal, what fear or anxieties this might be about, and trust in your ability to learn and to grow, to change, and maybe to adapt. Maybe there's something here coming up where you'll have to adapt in a way that makes you a little uncomfortable, but you can do it for sure. Number 6 is about unconditional love, whether this is unconditional love for yourself or someone or situations outside of yourself. It can also be associated with the devil, which is a sign, it could be a sign for someone about an unhealthy attachment, something that tempts you to be self-destructive or to make choices that don't consider your worth and what you deserve, especially when it comes to your future. I just burped a little bit. So maybe there's something here you need to release that stands in the way of your future, or loving yourself in the way that you deserve. That number 6, unconditional love energy, feels more strongly towards yourself, especially because we came into this talking about healing and your fears. The focus is definitely on you, so don't. I just heard something like the onus is on you. Not sure what that means, but it's okay to choose yourself and to love yourself, for sure. Adding up these numbers, 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 6 is 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. I've been seeing a lot of 5, 5, 5 in my own life lately. Maybe there's some sort of change here that's coming up. Change is coming, but don't worry too much about what type of change it is. Just stay open-minded, stay adaptable, it feels like. I just got distracted by a fly walking on the window. If you want to look up the spiritual meaning of a fly, feel free to do that. Maybe there's something here that you're starting to sniff out. Something doesn't smell right. metaphorically, literally. It feels more metaphorical, but it can be literal. Maybe there's something significant here about politics as well, domestically, globally. It's also important to never forget how connected we all really are. I mean, it can be easy to forget sometimes, but what matters is that you always bring yourself back to reality, I want to say. Whatever change is coming, I feel like you're being called to stay adaptable so that way you can embrace it, you can be ready for it. Maybe there's an offer coming up for somebody. I'm going to move on to the Magical Dogs Tarot to pull out a card to take a deeper look at your current situation and how it might relate back to the number 716. Okay, so I have the Four of Wands in reverse. For some reason I'm feeling Four of Pentacles type of energy. There needs to be a balance here between selfishness and generosity. Make sure you're not giving too much, but also not taking too much either. The number 4 is about stability. It can be emotional stability, physical stability. Something is unstable here that's being highlighted. It definitely looks more like, one second. This could be a significant card for someone because I saw it and it was in a reading recently. With talking about healing, for everybody watching this, this is pointing out a foundation on the inside that is not complete. It's not stable. That inner foundation that I like to call it is about trusting yourself and believing in yourself so that way you can feel secure in who you are. And that security on the inside will manifest as security on the outside. Someone could definitely be having like financial struggles, especially with feeling the Four of Pentacles. That can be very, very frustrating. I definitely understand that in this moment. Of course, you want to address these financial struggles, but the root of the issue might be more internal, more emotional, mental, maybe spiritual if your beliefs get involved. It's being highlighted for some reason, your finances. This foundation that needs to be built or rebuilt, if it's not on the inside, I mean, not only on the inside, for some people it can also be on the outside. There could be an unstable relationship, an unstable job, maybe an unstable job offer for someone, an unstable lifestyle. Maybe this is where the anxiety and the fear is coming from, is the instability, and healing is going to bring you that inner stability that will ultimately bring you external stability. But you have to, that stability that you create on the inside, manifestation takes time. So you're not going to see the results immediately, but that doesn't make it any less worth it. There could be a need here to communicate more clearly, maybe be a little more assertive, or if you've been assertive enough, be a little more passive, step back and let things unfold on their own. This definitely feels more like a take action type of energy. There's something here that you can do to improve things. But of course, for somebody out there, you're going to have to let things improve on their own. And that makes it even more important for you to focus on that inner foundation of trusting yourself and believing in yourself when it comes to what you know, what you feel, and what you believe to be true or to be right. Regardless, there's a general message here to stand your ground. Don't sacrifice your worth for some sort of material gain or attachment. Again, the unhealthy attachment, that devil energy. There could be an unhealthy attachment here that is contributing to instability, and I feel like, you know, the universe, your spirit guides really want you to address that, to focus on that, to reflect on it, because I just remembered the Hermit card that I pulled earlier for myself. There's something here that you need to think on, reflect on, and possibly even change on the inside at the very least. And if it resonates for you, it will manifest as changes in your external reality. I know that this card could also be about marriage or some sort of celebration, but when it's in reverse, there could be a marriage here that, you know, something's off, something isn't right. Maybe someone here isn't as committed as you once thought, or that they appear to be. Even if it's yourself, it's okay to walk away from commitments that you don't want to invest in anymore, no matter who's the problem. You know, I mean, of course, sometimes, you know, there's that saying, takes two to tango, so make sure you're not, you know, be real with yourself, basically. I also just saw this. The storm is coming. It's so interesting to see that, because I felt this message come through for myself, either earlier today or yesterday. There's a storm coming for somebody, but it's a storm that you can handle. The storm is similar to something that you've done before, that you've weathered before, if you want to keep up the metaphor. But I'm going to start wrapping up this reading by drawing out an index card from, you know, just a little bit of a smaller deck than from, you know, all of the cards that I have, just to see what guidance or extra messages the universe, your spirit guides, definitely your ancestors have for you. Your ancestors are especially present because I feel like they want to bring you a sense of familiarity that helps you feel more comfortable, not only with like the spiritual things, but also with trusting yourself and believing in yourself. Maybe they have some validation to offer you, whether they're living or not. You have dog. I am using the Magical Dogs Tarot, and this is the first time I've used this deck in a little while for these mystery readings. I just saw at the bottom of the deck, trust yourself. I really, that message has been coming through a lot in general. Trusting yourself to bring yourself more stability and peace. This dog energy, it's very interesting, because I recently felt that the dog energy, oh no, the reading that I was doing for myself when I was pulling cards for myself, I was using the Magical Dogs Tarot, and, you know, I sat there and wondered why, and what dogs mean to me is it can be a sign of loyalty, and they're just birds. So maybe there's a loyalty that you need to not be loyal to anymore. Or it can be the opposite. Maybe it's both. There needs to be less loyalty somewhere and more loyalty somewhere else. And for someone, I'm getting a specific message: less loyalty to someone who is not as loyal to you as you are to them, and more focus on being loyal to yourself and your worth and what you deserve. That's a very specific message, but it can resonate in different ways for everybody. Another thing that is significant in terms of signs when it comes to dogs is when they bark. Because barking, you know, when dogs do that, they're trying to get your attention. And so whenever I hear a dog bark, it's a sign that the universe is trying to get your attention. Spiritually, there's a lot of support here for you to find stability, to take care of yourself, and to make choices to get anything and everything that you've always deserved. Make choices rooted in truth, not lies. You know, especially when it comes to how honest you are to yourself or with yourself, however you want to say that. someone here could have a pet dog too, and their presence could be significant. It can be a dog, you know, that's living, of course, and it's a reminder there that, hey, if you're feeling a little lonely or sad, you do have that little friend there. And I'm sure they're happy to see you. Dogs tend to be like that. This could also be a pet that has passed on. I know that I'm pretty assuming I still do have you on with my channel. I know that I do have a viewer who did lose a dog, and if you're watching this, I mean, not even just in this reading, I feel like they're always there for you. And I'm being reminded of a recent reading whenever I said connection is always. You still feel connected to this pet for a reason. There's so much more to life than we even know. I feel like we barely even scratched the surface. Maybe someone here, the rare message that maybe you feel called to get a pet dog too. You know, as like an emotional support animal, or just as a little friend or buddy to help you feel a little less lonely. I also felt, as for a past animal, it doesn't have to be a dog for somebody. It can be a different animal. I'm also feeling that the spirit animal of a wolf could be present for somebody. For sure, the colors gold and black could be significant, something shiny amongst the darkness, but remember that not everything that glitters is gold. I'm being reminded of that stone, or whatever it's called that people have. It's called pyrite, and some people call it fool's gold. So there could be a situation here that it's not what it seems. And it's okay to acknowledge that, and to do what you need to do to take care of yourself, to protect yourself, and to protect your future.